Hi, this is a video demo for data warehousing reporting assignment using SQL Server 2022 and Visual Studio 2022. So I'm going to start the SQL Server 2022. I am using Management Studio 20.2. I'm connecting to a database engine. Here's the SQL instance using Windows authentication, encryption of optional, and checkbox for the certificate. Connecting. If you look at the instance description, this is my computer name, and this is the instance name that I gave. If you look at the SQL Server Edition, it's a 16x, which means it is SQL Server 2022. If it was 15, then it would have been 2019. And this is my domain and the username. I'm going to open up my databases for the ETL and the tables, and make sure that I have the work companies, just to verify that I have some data there. There it is. Now I'm going to start the Visual Studio. Oh, that was really fast. Here's a Visual Studio 2022. I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to do the report. Selecting the report service project. Next. I'm just going to accept the default names for the convenience sake, but you can give it a different name if you like. Create. Okay, I'm going to move this here. Right click on the reports, add an item for the default report, accepting the default name report 1, add. And I'm going to do the data source here, just accepting the default value, keeping it as a SQL Server. I'm going to build, and I'm going to keep it as a SQL Server client. For the server name, I'm going to grab it from here. Paste it up here using Windows authentication. Select the database here. I see the same ETL 1125, which is over here. Doing the test connection, it's all good, and I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to say OK. I'm going to create a data set, add data set, accept the name default here, and I'm going to use the data source that I used up here, which is data source 1, and then I'm going to click on the query designer, and here I get this error, right? So unable to connect. So I look at the detail here. It's a lot about the credentials and stuff like that, right? Actually, let me read here. Specified integration here, integrated or credentials, and then must configure unattended and stuff. So anyway, so I'm just going to say OK. I'm going to cancel it out. I'm going to go back to the data source here, credentials. For some reason it got changed, so I'm going to put it back here, say OK, and then I'll come here, add the data set, same thing here, accept the data source 1, come down here, designer. And now actually I get another error message, so I'm going to just copy this just for my record here and put it on this side. I'm going to say OK. But what happens is, you can say OK on here. You do end up getting in here, right? So this is OK. We don't need to use the fancy query designer. What we can do is to simply type the query SQL script here. And we are pulling the data from the SQL Server. So you can just type it, select everything from, and type the name of the table that you see here, which is for me, it's a work underscore companies, right? And then to populate the data, just click on this exclamation mark, which is run, then you should see this data, right? So this is not actually populated, but it is letting you know that it is working okay and making the connections. So you say okay, and then you say okay one more time, and now you're back here. And then, so here's what you do is, here's the toolbox. If you don't see the toolbox, go to the view here, and then select toolbox here somewhere. Here it is. But I already have it. But anyway, so all you have to do is drag this table over here like this. Okay? It'll take you back to the report data, and all you have to do is to bring these items over here. So pick one of these, and then slowly move it over here, like that. Administration, like that. Advertising, like that. The third one, city, is you gotta be a little bit slow, and like as soon as you see that blue line, just let it go. It just adds it, right? And then for the profit, do the same thing, like that, right? And then what you can do is you can move this out a little bit here, and you can click it, left click it, right click it, and then insert a row above, right? So that'll give you another row. And then you can select these guys, and then you can say, oops, let me grab this guy here. I'm using a shift arrow, and you can right click on it. You can say merge cells, right? It'll put into one, and then you can just type in whatever you want, right? So I'm going to pause this for a sec, and so I'm going to just give it a name. I think I give it a company's expenses and profit, or something, whatever, right? And then I'm going to select it all, go up to the format, justify, center, maybe let it go back to the format again. Maybe I'll highlight it, and then you can go font bold, right? And then maybe you can go back there, and maybe you can just let it go. Let's see here. Formatted background color. Let's see if I can choose this guy. Using my arrows, format, background color, maybe I'll do light green, say OK, and maybe I'll choose these guys, and whatever. Format, why is it? Maybe foreground. You can just play with this, right? And say maybe red or something, I don't know. Okay, so there you go. But anyway, so that's how you design the report. We should take a look at them by clicking on the preview. It might take a little bit, so be patient here, but eventually it's going to load, and there it is. So this is all I'm asking you to do. So in summary, what we have accomplished is the reporting service gets the data from the data warehousing, which we are using the SQL Server, into the Visual Studio, and then creating a layout or a report here. So this is it. So hopefully this works out for you, and maybe yeah, that's it. All right. Thank you. Bye.